Hey, and welcome back to another video. It is your lifestyle is Kay, your secure woman mentor. And today I want to tap into how to awaken your high priestess energy. And there are about 5 steps to this process, right? And ultimately, all this is just tapping into your inner knowing, understanding that you hold the power that you need in order to live the life that you deserve and desire, and to overcome any toxic experiences that you've experienced throughout your life. This is how you take your power back, step by step, understanding what you hold within and using it for your highest and greatest good. And that space, wherever you want to be in life, could be mentally where you want to be, spiritually, physically, in every area of your life. So let's dive in. And I'm found by the roadside, day in, day out. So first, how to awaken your high priestess energy. First, you have to focus on your intuition, strengthen your intuition. We have been told for so long that that isn't real, or that it doesn't work, or that it's not real, when in reality it's totally real. We've been told that so much that when your intuition is telling you something, when your gut feeling is telling you something, you're ignoring it. But no more, no more of that. If your self is telling you something, believe it the first time. A lot of times we want proof, like physical proof of things before we believe it, instead of feeling the knowing of a thing. You have to learn to trust yourself. So, how do you strengthen your intuition? First, understanding that your intuition speaks through feeling, it speaks through sensation, and it speaks through a quiet knowing. All the things that you probably are not trusting is where your intuition lies. Now, because you spent most of your time disconnecting from yourself, disconnecting from your intuition, how can you reconnect to that? What are those steps? What does that look like? And honestly, it's the things that require you to self reflect: meditation, journaling, getting those feelings out on paper, taking walks, spending time with yourself is how you reconnect to that. See, the thing is that in order for us to really tap into our highest self, we have to tap into ourselves. It's simple, but yet sometimes the hardest thing to do, especially in a life where social media is rampant and everyone is running towards that instead of going within. Your power is within you. Your destiny is within you. And as you start to do the meditation and journaling and the walking in nature and just being in stillness and just doing the things that you need to do to take care of yourself, you will begin to test your intuition. Ask yourself, what does my gut feeling say when it comes to a decision that you need to make? And if you can't hear it, or you feel like you can't get a definitive answer at that moment, then don't make a decision in that moment. Sometimes it might take a little while. Maybe you have to wait 24, 48 hours and you'll get a definitive answer. Don't always expect for that answer to arrive right then and there. Another way of reconnecting is realize how people make you feel when you're around them. Is it light or is it heavy? Is it awkward? What is that feeling? Because a lot of times we know when a person energy isn't correct or right because we get an instant feeling of, it's just something about them. Listen to that. Doesn't mean you have to react or act any type of way. Just know that you're feeling a certain way and trust that energy. Trust what you're feeling. It might not come out at that moment, but trust it enough to know that eventually it'll come out and you'll realize, oh, that's what it was. That's how you begin to trust yourself, your inner knowing. Because as you are reconnecting to your intuition, the more you listen to it, the more you train it up, the louder it will become. I remember I was dating a person, and I remember sitting in front of them and we were talking. They was telling me a story about something, and I heard my inner tuition, spirit, whatever you want to call it, say, it's not him. He's not it. And I had to listen to that. As much as I'm like, what? Why? But having my own inner conflict, I listened. I have to. Because when you don't listen, you're telling yourself, I don't trust you enough to guide me. So I'm going to just do it myself and go with whatever my mind says it should be. And then you have to deal with the repercussions. I don't know about you, but there are only a few times that I want to deal with the repercussions before I start listening to myself. I don't want to consistently go through the drama, the trauma, and the what comes with me not listening to myself. You don't want to deal with that. That is, I'm telling you, that not listening to yourself will have you so low that you would never not want to listen to yourself again. Please listen to yourself. The next step when it comes to tapping into that high priestess energy is master emotional detachment, energetic boundaries. Emotional detachment will save you every time. But how do you master that? How do you connect with that? Especially when you're so self aware of things, right? Or when you have that empathy for people. How do you really truly tap into that detachment style? One thing to remember when it comes to detaching, more than likely you're detaching from something that doesn't serve you. So always remind yourself that as you grow, as you elevate, you don't deserve and you don't have to engage in any type of chaos. Small chaos, big chaos, nonchalant chaos, whatever the chaos is, you don't deserve that. So detach yourself from it. It's not your battle to fight. It's not your situation to engage in. Now, ways to cultivate detachment. Learn to not instantly or immediately react. You want to take some time to respond. Now, granted, as you're learning this, will there be moments where you instantly react? Yes. But you're always, at any point in time, can dial back on that reaction and realize, oh, I'm doing it again. Because once you're aware of it, you do it less and less and less. This is you training yourself on how to cultivate your detachment. So you want to pause and reflect. If you find yourself immediately reacting and you become aware of that, pause, reflect, and then go from there. Protect your energy. Limit yourself to draining people. People who, when you get around them, you just feel extremely drained, extremely just not yourself. Limit their access to you. Or if you're always overthinking when you're around this person, like, are they trying to be funny or what is going on? If that's how you're feeling, limit their access to you. Now, a big one when it comes to detachment is to practice discernment. Know when to speak and know when to be silent. Your silence is always powerful. So, really, if you go back up to the first thing that I said about pausing and reflecting, that will help you determine if you need to speak or if you need to stay silent as well. You don't always have to say something. Silence sometimes, and most of the time, speaks louder than any words that you could ever speak. Understanding that you don't have to attend every argument, every situation that you're invited to. You don't have to RSVP to it. One thing to understand is that the high priestess is magnetic because she is rooted in the present. We're not going back and forth with people. It's the now moments that count. You have to be rooted in the now. Ways to cultivate presence would be to speak, move, and act with intention. It's imperative that you speak, move, and act with intention. And anything that you do it with intention. Create rituals for yourself. Create moments and memories with yourself and for yourself, whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe every morning you wake up at 5 and you just have tea or have coffee or just have a moment where you're just journaling. Whatever that looks like, that's just an idea. It doesn't have to necessarily be that, but create rituals for yourself, routines. Connect with the unseen. That's also how you tap into your intuition, your dreams, spirit. Connect connect with that. Because if you know, like I know, we are spiritual beings having a human being experience. So connect from the core of who you are. Understand this is that stillness is power. The answer always comes when you slow down. Now, how can you exude your high priestess energy in your daily life? It's imperative that you embody quiet confidence. If you watch my last video, I think I stated the most confident person isn't the loudest one in the room. You have to trust that and believe that and embody that. The high priestess does not overshare, she does not over explain, and she does not seek approval. And that might be a hard thing for those who have overshared, who seeks approval and validation, and who over explains. So those are things that you would have to work on as you grow into yourself, your greatest self. And so when you speak less, you observe more. And I know for me, I do this naturally, but there are times when I'm like, I need to say something, but then I'm just super observant. I'm really listening to what people are saying. It allows you to get to know someone without you ever asking the questions. A lot of times you have to let your energy speak for itself. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen when you do that. A lot of people who allow their energy to speak for itself, who's kind of quiet and just in their presence, a lot of people won't like you because they can't figure you out. Because you're not talking, you're not saying a lot. When you are selective in who you allow in your space, it's less chaos. You have more control over the things that, more control of the energy that is around you. Move with grace and walk with certainty. Listen, it's just not you not speaking, it's how you also carry yourself. Trust that you do not need external validation. Your worth is self defined. And when and as you define your worth, it's harder for people to come in and try to snatch however you feel about yourself away from you. Because you see it and you realize, oh, you are trying to make me feel like you feel. I won't. No, it's not happening. Own your presence. Own it. Your presence alone is enough. So own it. Does this mean that you're always walking around silent and mysterious? No. But in the moments as you're listening to yourself, you know when your presence is needed and you know when your voice is needed. This is about balance and understanding that two things can exist at once. Now, the fourth way to embody your high priestess energy is trust the timing in your life. We're all on this journey. Everybody's timing is different. So you might see someone whose timing comes before yours. The high priestess, or the woman that knows herself, she understands divine timing. So instead of forcing an outcome, trust the process. And not everybody's process has the same time frame. That's why it's imperative that you don't seek validation or look at other people to see where you should be in life. Your journey might take 3 or 4 months, 3 or 4 years longer than someone else's journey. And that's because our journeys are different. And there's something that you have to learn that has to build up within you before you can reach a certain level where you want to be. When you understand that, you trust the process and you trust divine timing. Can it be tiresome? Can it be like, what the heck? Of course. But it all works for the greater good of you. But if you give in to the fact that your timing isn't like someone else's, you can make your process longer because you're not trusting your own process. You're not trusting your own journey. One thing I want you to remember as you go through your journey and you're trusting the timing in your life and you're like, oh, this is taking longer than I want it to. Like, I'm doing everything. I want you to stop and pause and say this to yourself: the right things come at the right time for me. This will allow you to put yourself back in that space where you're trusting your path, you're trusting your process. You deserve this, but sometimes you have to remember that your timing is your timing. And as we move through this process of owning who we are, just understand you don't have to chase, you don't have to prove, and you don't have to force who you are, what you are onto anyone. Once again, you don't have to prove, you don't have to chase, and you don't have to force. Your power lies in knowing, trusting, and embodying your truth. And as you learn the truth of who you are, it empowers you even more. Those who are aware of themselves and trust their process and trust divine timing can't be stopped, even when there's bumps in the road. So understand that this process that you're on is for the greater good of yourself. And never forget that. I'll see you on the next video.